You might not realize it, but if you use an office security pass or a pay-at-the-pump gas tag, you're harnessing the power of radio frequency identification, otherwise known as RFID.
It's been around as a technology probably for 60 years, since World War II. It's only been in the last decade or so that it's now being looked at in terms of commercial adoption.
RFID tags contain a microchip that stores information about a product and an antenna for sending that information to a reader. But instead of scanning one product at a time, as barcoding does, RFID readers can scan hundreds.
RFID technology has a wide appeal because in almost every industry, there is something that needs to be tracked and traced, identified.
Automakers like Toyota have used RFID tags to track car parts for years. Now the retail sector is waking up to its promise. In the US, almost 500 Walmart stores use the technology. The Canadian grocery industry is also piloting an RFID project. Loblaws, Maple Leaf Foods, Unilever, Scott Paper and General Mills are looking at a few key areas.
Does it reduce the number of times a grocery store may be out of stock on a particular product? Does it ensure that if water is on special, as an example, is the water at the right store at the right time? So does it improve the effectiveness of those promotions?
But what the grocery industry really wants to know is, will returns on the technology justify the cost? RFID tags cost at a minimum 5 cents a piece, but once you factor in software and readers, the investment runs in the tens of thousands. With all advances in technology, there always exists a potential for misuse. And in the case of RFIDs, fears they'll eventually be used to track people. Good news maybe for parents wanting to keep a tight leash on a rambunctious child, but a nightmare for those concerned about privacy.
Control, this is Air 1. Repeat coordinates.
105 Chambers Avenue.
You're transmitting. They still have a signal on you. Your collar, your belt, your zipper. Get rid of your clothes, all of them. Well, and then what am I supposed to do? Nothing. You live another day, I'll be very impressed.
RFID chips that can track people from anywhere in the world are pure fantasy for now. Still, Ontario Privacy Commissioner Anne Kavukian wants to make sure companies never use the technology to track people who buy products with RFID tags attached.
If you are contemplating using a new technology, such as an RFID in the retail space, then by all means do it, but ensure that you know what the privacy risks are and build in the necessary protections so that you don't place individuals at risk.
Some companies are putting RFID tags in clothes, including Canadian retailer Nygaard. So should buyers be worried that once they leave the store, their movements could be monitored?
If I was to take an RFID label and stick it to my lapel, for example, and walk around here, I might be read within this environment. But if I were to walk 100 feet away, the RFID infrastructure here would never know that that tag exists.
It's very important that consumers be educated, be told what the purpose of the RFIDs, and more importantly, that absent their consent, they'll be turned off at the point of sale to allay any fears that they may have about surveillance after the fact.
The use of RFIDs is expected to grow exponentially in the next few years, but how responsibly companies use the technology remains to be seen. Niall McGee, Report on Business Television, Toronto.